Listen, Twitter made a decision, as a private company often does, and now they're dealing with a fallout. I don't know what I would have decided to do in their shoes. Twitter and other social media platforms are constantly facing pressure from everyone in the political ecosystem and the public. Hence, this is a lose-lose situation for Twitter. They already were facing heavy criticism from the left for failing to do more with Trump's claims online. When they took action by labeling the president's tweet, they came under fire from the right, and that led to the executive order that we will discuss probably later. One thing to be said is that if we abolish Section 230, then Twitter will be sued for what President Trump said on Twitter, and there will be only two options for any social media platform, either to stop moderating altogether or to over-moderate. And then the forums in which we have our public discourse will change forever and not for the better. The First Amendment protects Twitter from Trump, but not Trump from Twitter.
Social media big tech should not be, quote, fact-checking anything. They have a biased view that leans radically left. Yoel Roth, who's in charge of, quote, developing and enforcing Twitter's rules, referred to Trump and his team as, quote, actual Nazis, exclamation point. Number two, radical left big tech is not the arbiter of truth. The fact check was a lie. Twitter said, quote, Trump falsely claimed that mail-in ballots would lead to a, quote, rigged election. The fact is, mail-in ballots have been linked to numerous cases of election fraud, and people have been criminally convicted for it, and it's not up for debate. Number three, President Trump has the right to post what he thinks, even if people disagree. Fact-checking his tweets is a form of political censorship and activism. There are publishers now trying to alter the way people view his tweets. So my bottom line here is we need to let the public fact-check each other. It's time for human beings to put the big boy pants on and research and think for ourselves what is true and what is false. I agree with Joe Biden, which I never do. Section 230 of the Communications Act, which protects these companies from being sued, quote, should be revoked immediately. Come on, man.
Hello, I'm David Grasso, and you're watching Bold TV. As you heard from off the top, we're debating whether Twitter did the right thing in fact-checking President Trump. Let's hear from our panelists. We have Ash Karzarian, the Director of Civil Liberties, Protect Freedom, and singer-songwriter Ricky Rebel. Welcome to you both. So, Ricky, Mark Zuckerberg came out against Twitter's fact-checking. Do you agree with him?
Well, I think both of them have some explaining to do. Because in the beginning, when they first started out, they were just a platform, a neutral, platform for people to express their views, to freely express their views, all different types of views, including views that people might think are lies or are wrong, all types of ideas. And it was supposed to be a place where we can all debate these ideas freely. And now all of a sudden, not all of a sudden, I mean, it's been happening for a very long time. They're censoring people, and it's primarily censoring conservatives. Many of my friends have been censored. I've been censored, and it's just if it was more of a thing where they were censoring people equally, we might be able to talk about this. But the fact that they continually target conservatives is a problem because they're biased and they have a radical, in my opinion, radical left-leaning agenda. And they're trying to sway the election a certain way right now. They're trying to sway it, in my opinion.
So let's give Ash an opportunity. Ash, what do you think about all of this? These are really tough calls to make. And speaking of civil liberties and et cetera, what do you make of all of this?
Well, I think it's important to say that sometimes on social media we stay in our echo chambers. So I work with both the left and the right, and I've seen a lot of people on the left complain about being silenced, about being moderated too. So the fact that Ricky, he actually said he agreed with Joe Biden, the fact that both parties are actually coming after platforms probably means that they're pissing everyone off. And content moderation is extremely hard. One thing to be said is, so Ricky said neutral. Currently, no laws require these platforms to be neutral, and these platforms are private. Now, I'm not saying we should demand for them to be, acting better, doing a better job at moderating. But as currently the First Amendment stands, we would have to then ask for a baker in Colorado to be neutral and not to decide for himself if he wants to bake a cake for a gay couple or not. We would have to remember when the left was very angry at Chick-fil-A for having political views and donating to certain causes. Well, basically now the right is angry at tech companies for its executives being Democratic donors, not all of them, but some of them, and for some of its staff, a lot of it is in Silicon Valley, having more liberal views. So it's basically 180. And someone who works on civil liberties, I care about the future. I care about if we change the laws in a bad way, then we're not going to have the First Amendment protections that America was always famous for.
So, Ricky, one of the things that happened in recent times